Hi, this is the Bit-Mage. Thanks for tuning in again. This time we're back in Emacs. Let's get right into it. I'll start W show keys as usual. You should be able to follow my keystrokes now. Anyway, so this one is going to be about buff stacking Emacs. You already saw the title. Uh, this is going to be more of a technical talk through. This is the terminology that I'm coming up. I'm going to talk about a larger overarching concept. For a lot of my future videos, I'm going to be having a lot of practical talkthroughs with a lot of rapid practical examples. So the last video, Vim but why, was more of a techno ramble. This is going to be a techno talkthrough. So in techno talkthroughs, I still deliver a larger idea, but then with the help of a lot of smaller instances. So it's going to be more of a rapid speedrun sort of thing. So if you're into that, do stay tuned. And if you're not into that, probably watch me at 0.75x and it should be a techno ramble for you. All right. So getting right into it, today we're going to talk about bus stacking Emacs. The idea is to build the conceptual idea about stacking your tools. The collaborative cooperation of all of those is greater than the individual worth of each of the tool that you use. So in the context of Emacs, Emacs is the very extensible peak of all programming tools out there because it's based on Lisp. So there's a bunch of interfaces and constraints. By constraints, I mean protocols that Emacs uses for the information that it displays that allows you to chain tools together. And like the Unix philosophy has it's a limited it's unidimensional text-based streams. Emacs can be imagined as being able to work on two-dimensional streams, two-dimensional text windows, buffers. Yeah, we'll get into the things. So, to get started, I mean, the extensibility is a big part because eLisp allows communities to build any sort of extension that you want, and it can fit all of your needs. So, anything that you're looking for, just give it a quick Google dash in Emacs, and you should find something. So it's essentially a list machine. I am actively exploring this aspect of it in terms of my daily usage. I should soon start publishing competent content about that too. But then for now, I'll let you know what I actually incorporate on my workflows in a very pragmatic way. I use Emacs around 90% of my day. So everything in Emacs is a text, and if you're a programmer, you're gonna work with a lot of text. And one important thing is version control. So right now I'm in an Emacs buffer. These are my org room nodes. I am in like a narrowed mode right now. So if I go like unnarrow it, yeah, there I am. So this is just a buffer that I'm using. It's an org file. Let's save that. Let's show you version control. So I hit space GG to go into Magit. This shows me my current state, and if I hit a question mark, I can see all the options available to me. So, so for example, this time I have this one update on that particular file, emacs.org, that I'm actually working on and like using to push the presentation. For the sake of yeah, for the sake of giving you guys a quick example, I'll just create a quick signed commit. Okay, and that's pushed. So I will soon give you. I'll post the link about that in the description. So what I just did right now is yeah, I staged it, I committed it, and I also pushed it all in yeah a pretty I don't know, took me 3 4 seconds. And you can also look at the logs. So what actually happens is all logged. Yeah, there's a push, there's a commit. If you can see that, yeah, okay. BTW, yeah. Okay, so there's a commit. So you can also use the CLI. For example, if you're working yeah, if you're working with say different local directories, you're in a corporate setting, you want to have a different signed commit. So you can just go to executing any shell command right away from Magit. Yeah, something like that, or let's say you can also go for any other settings that you want to change. So one takeaway from this is you can have Emacs as an interface between text and while keeping it transparent enough for any CLI things that you need to do. Magit is one very good example of that, and it's using a lot of things like Hydra and stuff that actually make it very easy to learn the tools in themselves. So, for example, uh, an example of what Hydra might actually do is which key. So it's like okay, if I hit space right now, it shows me all the key bindings and it exposes everything that I can do with Emacs. So the self-documenting part of Emacs comes from these sort of little things. Even if you're taking a completely alien extension, uh, all of these integrations that already exist allow you to quickly learn whatever you're into and incorporate that in your workflows. So Magit again is again a workflow. Like it was a text buffer what I did out there. So given a text buffer, let's go to Magit again. If I hit LL, that will give me all my Magit logs since the beginning of the world for this particular repository. So let's see. If I wanted, I also have some LLM integration. Yeah, okay, let's do that again. I misplaced my, yeah, huh, right. Okay, okay, I'm in an LLM buffer right now. Given that everything is text, you can quickly send anything out there to text again. And you can again paste it back in. You could also ask this particular question in this ogrom buffer. Let's narrow back down to this. Let's go. So yeah, you can create your own prompts and everything. Cool. So there's that. Everything is text, so it makes everything fairly commonly interfaceable. Okay, I'm going to focus for a while. I'm looking at the camera too much. Let's get a little serious. Okay, so LLM interface is a text buffer. So given that everything is a text out here, you can pretty easily uh, interact with any of the tools out there. So EWW is the integrated Emacs browser, for example. I hit space SW, and if I wanted to read some news, let's go to Hacker News. Uh, Y Combinator, yeah, there you go. I can just read stuff. And if I actually wanted to, let's say, shift to something in Firefox, if I wanted to see something in the GUI, I can just browse in Firefox. It should, yeah, that's the URL. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go to. And it opens up the URL. I have my browser handy out here. It opens up the URL for me. Let's go back, close that. Yeah, that's EWW, again, a text buffer. So you can do all sorts of things. If you're a programmer and yeah, you'll probably work with a lot of languages. So one great addition is LSP mode. Now that is something the language server protocol. That is something that VS Code integrated first because Microsoft developed it. But then LSP mode is again a protocol implemented for language servers to interact with clients being integrated text editors. And LSP mode in other editors compared to LSP mode in Emacs are a different ballgame. For that, let's go to an example project. Let's create an example project. Let's create a small Go project and a buffer file. Yeah. So, okay, I'm out here. It created everything for me, the basics. It's given a basic Go template to me. Uh, yeah. Okay, we have a go mod now. The LSP should function. So I have my LSP key binding as control space. Okay, control meta key L. If I hit that, because of which key integration, I can see all the options that are available to me. So let's see. I let's deliberately not use format in this, and yeah. So by the way, the basic things like hovering and jumping here and there and going to that particular definition, speaking references, all of that is pretty much possible. Yeah. So there's that. You can jump in, out. And also there's snippets, by the way. So there's context of snippets. I'll get on that soon. But for example, right now, let's create a log. Uh, the black screen you see in the bottom, I think that's because my W show keys glitched out because I was typing too many keys. So it should work now, I think. Anyway, std out. Okay, so I have std out. I don't have it imported, but then I'll use some code action soon. Let's have the prefix as a test, and we'll use the normal flags. Yes, that is fine. So LSP mode in other editors and stuff, you'll probably need to have a config and everything set up. But then in here, there's a lot of sensible defaults which also exist there. But then given integrations like say which key or alt text compile, I've bound that to space cc in Doom. You can just hit go run, and this should not run because there's a format in there. That is, I left that in deliberately. But then I can quickly work on that with space L A A code actions and organizing my inputs that will remove the format and add the OS, which I did not deliberately add in. I hit space CC again, and there you go. I got the test and a test print with the prefix and the log file. There's that. So if I even wanted to jump in, jump out, this is just for Go right now, but I'm showing it to you. But then the beautiful thing is given the common interface between the client and the server, the server implements an interface, a common interface for communication. Uh, you can yeah use the same key bindings for all the languages that you have. Now, as of right now, I only have yeah Golang's language server handy, and I think Rust's as well. Yeah, but then in the interest of time, you get the idea. Given the same key bindings and integrations, you could pretty much have a common interface with all the languages that you code. So that's great for polyglotism. I used to, okay, right now my primary language is Golang, but then I've used the LSP mode quite a lot with Racket during my SICP days, and even for a Lisp, with Common Lisp you usually do Slime, but then even for Racket with LSP mode, it worked quite well. And yeah, this was around 2 3 years ago. Even right now, the interface is same. I haven't had to learn any new ways of doing things, no new grammar. There might be new key bindings here and there based on the availabilities of features in a particular language server. But then the grammar, the DSL of that particular language is the same as any else out there. So it's great for programmatic polyglottism. I know that framing that right. Let's go back to Emacs. Okay. There's LSP mode. I showed you. Compile org is a pretty great thing. You can do a lot of things in org. I'm in org right now. I use org for presentations, blogs, to-dos, capture buffers. Babel is something that you can look into right away. You can have multiple org buffers, multiple source buffers in this particular org file. Literate programming is something more intricate with Tangle and Weave that'll create a dedicated video for soon. Let's okay. Let's save stuff. Let's write some Go. Again, the black screen cause too many keystrokes. There you go. Let's test. I could also do that. Let's do it with Python. Python is gonna be what pretty easy, I guess. Yeah, I mean Python is Python. Like Python is sort of yeah, Python's Python. So there's that. You could also do a lot of interesting things. They want you to you wanted to get a list of integers in your random thing. I believe I should be using elist right now. There you go. So there's quite a bit of things that you can do with this. I also use this for plant UML. I will not get into that right now, but then the point is with org mode, it's like a uniform slate for anything that you want to do, anything out there. And by anything, I actually mean anything: tables, nodes, capture buffers. So if I have any idea, I can just quickly open a capture template, and like that'll be logged into uh, another org file that I have. GTD is getting things done. My getting things done HQ headquarters. That is what I use to actually maintain all my to-dos and everything in Emacs. Let's say it's priority. Let's say C. This is not that useful, and it can quickly be accessible right away as a text buffer again in my getting things done buffer. So this here you go. This is the test to do. Yeah, there you go. So, and again, context-aware snippet. Oh, I could just use the previous buffers for that. Let's undo a little. I have both Python and here. I can insert snippets, context-aware snippets. Let's go into the specific editing modes. If I hit space is, again the same key binding, I get all the list of snippets that I could insert in Python. Let's go for if main. Yeah, there you go. Let's see what pops up in Golang. If I hit space as right now, I'll get org mode snippets because technically I'm in an org buffer. If you want to actually create a Go buffer with this, you just hit space M and single quote and space is. Let's go for an error snippet. Yeah, there you go. So snippets are also pretty handy and like context aware. So for example, I inserted the same snippet in Go, add in Python, and let's do an org mode as well. Let's insert an image. Yeah, there you go. You could also insert an image right away. So all this is cause like Emacs has integrations, has as generic interfaces with everything out there. That is what the buff stackability actually comes from. And everything in Emacs, like okay, so everything in a Unix file system is a file, but then Emacs is like a OS agnostic system. So processes, files, buffers, everything, they are like represented differently in different operating systems. I mean, you might be a Windows guy, but yeah, I'm currently on Fedora. So I also like to monitor what my Emacs is doing from time to time and like clean it up a little here and there. So for that as well, to like actually see everything that is going on, I just hit space VI, and that takes me to the iBuffer project file. So this is going to show me all the buffers that are open, all that's happening right now, anything that Emacs is doing. I have what 108 buffers right now? No, 187 buffers open right now. Uh, there's like these are like process logs plus buffers that I'm actually writing into plus yeah, a lot of other things like buffers that are not correlated to a file on the system, 138 files and 13 processes. So I actually prefer not monitoring Emacs from Emacs when it comes to resources. So what I actually use there is something called as btop. Let's search for Emacs and let's zoom in a little. Okay, yeah. So there you go. That's my OBS FFmpeg. Okay, FFmpeg marks. I think that must have Emacs somewhere in the thread, like any text out there. But then my Emacs currently using what 862. Yeah, overall memory, the main node. There's a lot of Go LSPs going on. This big one that you see, this 1.2 gig one, that is because I'm exploring the Kubernetes source code. So that is a pretty hefty LSP process. So yeah, I like monitoring stuff from here rather than okay, monitoring processes from here and monitoring buffers from here. I was on YouTube, yeah. So if I wanted to say close a buffer, let's close this main magit directory and a couple of issues that I've open. I could just mark them, hit delete, and they're gone. And I am doing this still in a text buffer, but this is a README buffer with a strategically placed CRUD interface. So yeah, again, a text buffer. The idea of having a text buffer, two-dimensional array of characters with which you can interact with a DSL that is customizable is what gives Emacs its stackability. So if everything is just text and you can write a program that what manipulates programs that manipulate finally text, uh, there's no stopping to what you can actually do with Emacs. Let's get back to it. And yeah, as of right now, I can't even claim to be completely adept with it. There's a lot of things that I don't know. There's a lot of things that I'm working on. Uh, yeah, I'm getting into eLisp right now. So Zali, I don't think if I'm getting the name right. Zali has a good series of getting into eLisp and stuff. So yeah, I'm like exploring that, and there should be a lot of content about that soon. Uh, for today, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, we missed EWW. No, I think we did that. We did that. Yeah. So a lot of these videos in themselves are a lot of these topics are videos in themselves that should be explored. This was more of a techno talk through, as I said. Uh, so with the Vim video, I understood that it was more of a techno ramble, and this is more of a techno talk through because I focus on the more practical aspects of things and like actually backing my argument with how I actually use Emacs. So let's see, one right off my okay, I think completion, yeah, like I showed you snippets, right? So there's like completion with Helm ID or whatever you use. If I have say an E shell buffer running in, and let's say I start typing, it gives me completion in the shell in itself. Now, what editor is going to do that? Don't tell me VS Code does that. Don't tell me VS Code does that. So I can just, yeah, okay, ls open files, right? That is showing me all the open files, and that is giving me errors because a lot of them are in the kernel space. I'll just hit Control CC. Yeah, uh, that's that. So something like that. It's just the beginning of what you can do with Emacs. And right now, currently, I'm spending what 90% of my time in Emacs. I like consider myself very lucky to be able to do that. Uh, yeah, a lot of people like early in their careers probably do not get to spend a lot of time in Emacs. There's what like integrations with GitLab, Kubernetes, Docker, whatever you want. Uh, or Emacs for data science. Yeah, Emacs is actually great for anyone out there, writers, researchers, data scientists. There's some setup needed. So and of course software engineers and devs like they really can't undersell the benefits of Emacs. So there's a lot of video ideas that I've been churning out for Emacs. You should get a lot of them soon. Uh, the rest of the 10% of like how I spend my time, it's actually I'm a modal person right now in terms of how I use my system. So 90% of the time I'm in Emacs with my normal mode. And anytime that I get out, I get subbed in and get back in Emacs. So Emacs is actually the headquarters where I dispatch. mental tasks from, because like my GTD setup, the getting things done setup, great book by the way, is also in Emacs. And yeah, so even if I like want to search something, I'll first do EWW or U, and only if I really need a GUI or yeah, need to explore the graphical elements of the site is when I pull up Firefox. Even in Firefox, I have like Vimium installed, so there's that. You can really like make it very convenient for you to really not use the mouse. And yeah, I'd also recommend looking into ITW Manager if you're on Zog. I'm currently on Wayland, so I'm on Sway. That also is pretty editable, pretty express, pretty configurable. And by the way, this is not a say that CLIs are not the way to go about it. But then this is just a very evolved interface, is what I'm saying. Not your conventional GUI. It's an evolved interface, is what I'm saying. So there is a lot of flexibility, but then there is a lot of intellectual protocols that in place that allow stuff to be made very efficiently and like understood and like okay. So Emacs is actually the self-documenting editor, and yeah, anything that you want, anything out there is just a few keystrokes away. So if you want to know what a function is doing or what a particular variable is doing, or just the internal, I started the profiler. I didn't want to do that. I think yeah, I wanted the documentation. This is like the Doom documentation. Yeah, anything out there is just a few keystrokes away. And if you invest enough time, right now, I would still consider myself a pretty amateur guy at Emacs. I've spent what like 5 years using Emacs in terms of yeah, in my daily workflows. But then like the active amount of time that I've spent into Emacs is like not that much. I haven't written an Emacs extension or like edited a lot of eLisp yet. So even then, I feel like it has been very useful to me. I mean, I do plan on investing time in Emacs because, like, yeah, a lot of you guys are into it, and yes, I mean, I do consider this a good opportunity to like actually like what spread the word and like learn things myself on the way. So I am, yeah, I do plan on getting proficient, of course. You should get better videos day by day. So in terms of like my opinions as well. So I am like fairly opinionated, and if you really want the very opinionated stuff, I do blog. There's the blog. Let's get this speed up shut down. Yeah, I do blog. So if you're into just what miscellaneous stuff, that's my site. There's quite a lot of things that I blog about. I mean, all these tags that you see on the left there, that is probably what just tip of the iceberg as to like what I've talked about. And if you're like really into all of it, there's also this ideation buffer where I just have everything. So go to explore and you should see the sitemap. Yeah, anything that I find interesting or like worthy noting down and like exploring later on, or like anything on my mind, this is like getting into the depth of it. So anyway, uh, do hit me, yeah, do contact me at I think I'll show you the mail. It's yeah, Raj at the bitmage.com. Yeah, that Raj at the bitmage.com. Yes, do hit me up at that if you really have interesting ideas or you want to collaborate or anything like that, or you feel anything about the content I create. So, hmm. uh, a lot of Emacs stuff in the pipelines, a lot of it coming your way. Oh, by the way, if you're a text guy, there's an RSS feed out there as well. So don't need to worry. You don't need to open up your browser. There's an RSS feed out there. That particular RSS symbol. Yeah, this is the site.xml that you will be looking for. So you have that settled, and yeah, we'll also get into a lot of CLI utilities, the core GNU Linux Unix uh, domain soon after a particular phase of Emacs. I'll just dial down on Emacs and like capitalize on it for a while. Uh, yeah, I also have a lot of generic thoughts generic thoughts in the sense that it's not just Emacs that I'm into. I'm into a lot of things. So do check out the blog. Do check out the blog if you're into that sort of stuff. And thanks for tuning in. Again, this was a techno talk through. You're improving on time. Today is just 30 minutes, and I feel like I've covered a lot. So I hope that's an improvement. Do let me know in the comments. What do you feel about the new format? By the new format, it's pretty similar. I mean, I'll always retain a practical aspect, but yeah, thanks for tuning in again. This was the Bit-Mage.